What's up, everybody? Week 14 in the NFL is underway. First game I'm going to talk about this week: Baltimore 8-4 in Pittsburgh to face Steelers. Steelers 1.5 point home favorites in this one. Over under 36.5. Underdogs 19-6-3. Road teams 8-3 against the spread. Ravens are 5-2-1 against spread in Pittsburgh. Baltimore's 2-5 against spread their last 7 versus the Steelers, and 1-4 straight up their last 5 versus. Ravens are 2-6 against spread their last 8 overall, and 5-1 straight up. Baltimore's 4-2 against spread their last 6 road games. Total's gone under in 7 of Baltimore's last 9 games overall. Steelers are 5-2 against spread their last 7 overall. Pittsburgh's 1-6 straight up versus the AFC. Steelers are 4-2 against spread versus the AFC North. Total's gone under in 7 of the Steelers' last 9 games. Total's gone under in 11 of Pittsburgh's last 16 December games. Ravens ranked first in the NFL in run block win rate at 75.7%. That'll force Pittsburgh to throw the ball, which Ravens defense should be able to feast on pretty good in that one, in my opinion. Tyler Huntley probably start in place of Lamar Jackson. It's looking more and more likely like that, but Huntley, he's just a mini-me of Lamar anyways, and the way Lamar and the offense have played, especially in the fourth quarters down the stretch, well, not so much the offense like the defense was previously, but they're seeming to come around now. But Kenny Pickett, he'll be able to do enough, I think. Ravens have forced at least one turnover in 14 straight games. That's the longest active streak. Pittsburgh are 0-4 when Pickett has a turnover. Baltimore's 9-7 against spread without Lamar Jackson as their starter. I like Baltimore to win this game outright, so I obviously like them against the spread. I will be betting money on this one. Not a lot, but I do like Baltimore as a play this weekend. Cleveland Browns in Cincinnati to play the Bengals. Bengals 5.5 point home favorites. Over under 46.5 on this one. The underdog 6-0 against spread. Browns are 4-12 against spread versus Cincinnati. Cleveland's 2-5 against spread in Cincinnati. Overs hitting 6 straight meetings in Cincy. Overs 7-1-2 the last 10 meetings. Browns have won 5 straight games versus the Bengals. Cleveland's 8-2 straight up versus Cincy, so they win the games. They just don't cover the spread, but now they're dogs, so which way is that going to play out? Browns are 4-2 against spread their last 6 overall, and 3-6 straight up their last 9. Cleveland's 2-8 their last 10 on the road. That's a straight up number. Browns are 5-13 against spread versus the AFC North. Bengals are 9-1 against spread their last 10 overall, and 6-1 straight up their last 7. Cincy's 8-1 against spread at home their last 9. Bengals are 1-4 straight up versus the AFC North. Bengals hold opposing QBs to a league low 59% completion percentage. Joe Burrow, he's 0-4 straight up versus the Browns in his career. Myles Garrett leads the NFL in pass rush win rate. I like the Browns to cover this spread. I can't decide which team I like to win by a field goal, so the only play I will make, I will bet on Cleveland plus 5.5, but I really don't have a straight up winner. I'm going to pick Cincy to squeak it out at home. Burrow, is he really going to lose again? No, I'm picking Cleveland as the upset, but I'm not going to put money on it. Cleveland plus 5.5 will be the play. In-game betting and props in this one for sure. New York Jets 10-point dogs in Buffalo to face the Bills. Over under 43 in this one. Home teams 4-1 against spread. Jets are 3-7 against spread in Buffalo. The under's 5-2 their last 7 meetings. Jets won 2017 earlier this year, and that was all their defense. That zone defense held Josh Allen to, what was it? I wrote it down here somewhere. Held Allen to 0 TDs, 2 INTs, and a 2.8 QBR on those plays when they were in that zone coverage. Mike White did toss 4 interceptions last time he played Buffalo last year. I think that the Jets team is showing confidence in White, though. The entire offense wore Mike White t-shirts. 2 on their trip or on the plane. I forget where I seen it, but I did see the pic of the entire Jets offense wearing the Mike White shirts. Jets were 1-4 straight up versus Buffalo. New York 6-14 straight up their last 20 overall on the road. Jets are 2-14 straight up versus the AFC East. Bills are 2-4 against spread their last 6 overall. Buffalo's 14-4 straight up their last 18 overall. Bills are 7-2 against spread in December. Bills are 13-3 straight up versus the AFC East. Jets lead the league in fourth quarter point differential. They're a plus 54, 94 points scored for them in the fourth quarter, only 40 against. I'll be playing the Jets plus 10 on this, and the Bills, you'll get no value with that spread on the money line, so maybe unless you want to parlay them, but it's probably going to take a good amount, and maybe a Baltimore-Buffalo money line parlay or something I might look into. I don't know. I'll play the Jets plus 10 in this one, and then I'll look for props and in-game betting. Jacksonville Jaguars plus 3.5 in Tennessee to face the Titans. Over under 41 in this one. Derrick Henry has been held to low rushing yardage in his 2 straight games. Titans have won 5 straight and 9 of the last 10 versus the Jaguars. Jags are 1-5-1 against spread in Tennessee. The favorite in this series is 4-1 against spread. Jags are 2-8 against spread versus the Titans. Jacksonville are 2-7 against spread their last 9 overall and straight up. Jags are 1-19 straight up their last 20 road games. That's their last 20 overall on the road. Jacksonville are 0-8 straight up in Tennessee. Jags are 0-8 against spread in December. Titans are 8-2 against spread their last 10 overall and 7-3 straight up. Tennessee are 5-0 straight up versus the AFC South. Derrick Henry and the Titans will both break out of their mini slumps. Titans, they fired their GM this week. Lawrence and Tannehill, though, they're both dealing with foot injuries. I can't remember whether it's ankle or foot or some. Anyways, they're issues with their feet, both of them. So how is that going to affect both of them? Here's a stat. Derrick Henry, had 0 rushing TDs in 2 straight games. Last time Henry went 3 games without a rushing TD was 2018. Jags are 1-5 against spread on the road this year. I like Tennessee to get back on track. I think they win this game by 4 to 6 points, 4 to 7 points. I like them to win and take care of the spread, and I will be betting money on that game. Houston, 1-10-1, plus 17 in Dallas to face the Cowboys. Over under 44 on this one. So they're telling you Houston's not going to score and Dallas is going to blow them out, basically, by that number. But I think, like usual, Cowboys numbers are always inflated. Underdogs, 4-1 against spread. Under is 5-0 the last 5 meetings. Houston's 1-6 against spread their last 7 overall. And 0-7 straight up. Texans are 1-6 straight up on the road. Houston's 1-6-1 against spread versus the NFC East. Texans are 0-10 straight up versus NFC teams. Boys are 8-3 against spread their last 11 overall. Dallas are 5-1 straight up their last 6 and 6-0 straight up their last 6 at home. Cowboys are 5-2 against spread versus the AFC South. Dallas are 8-0 against spread in December. Here's a stat for you with the Cowboys. Cowboys are number 1 in point differential, plus 127. Texans rank last in run defense, 169 yards per game allowed on average. Cowboys are 17-point faves, largest spread of the season so far, but here's why. Dallas's average margin of victory is 17.2, and with Dak Prescott starting at quarterback, the Cowboys' average margin of victory is 19.2. Dallas searching for their first back-to-back double-digit win season since 1996, and they won 91 to 96. They won double digits each of those years, so 6 years in a row they did it, but haven't done it since. Wow. Houston's lost 3 straight games by 13 plus points. I think they're going to win another by 13 plus points, but I don't think it'll be by 17. I think it's going to be by right around that 13, 14, 15 point mark. I'll take Houston on the plus 17. I'll put a small piece on it. I won't be putting a large bet on that one, though. Sorry, I feel like I got a dog hair or some shit hanging on my lip. Dallas, I might do this. Is what I've been doing a lot this year. A little Cowboys-Eagles parlay. I know it goes against a lot, especially any of you Cowboys or Eagles fans out there will say, but hey, they're both good fucking teams, and I'm not betting my heart on these games. I'm betting my real fucking money. So I want to take the good fucking team. So Cowboys Eagles parlay, it is, and it's gonna happen again this week. Maybe on this, money line. I'll figure some way to parlay them two together. Maybe I'll do throw in another underdog that I like a little bit in with that one. I like the Cowboys to win this by 13 to 15 points. So Minnesota +2 in Detroit to face the Lions. Over under 51.5 on this one. The underdog's 4-0 against spread. Lions are 4-0 against spread versus mini. Overs 4-1 in Detroit and last 5 overall between these two. Vikings are 9-1 straight up their last 10 versus the Lions. Minis 5-1 against spread their last 7 overall and 9-1 straight up their last 10. Vikings are 5-2 straight up on the road. Lions are 5-0 against spread their last 5 overall and 4-1 straight up. Detroit's 9-2 against spread their last 11 games at home. Lions are 7-0 against spread versus the NFC North. 9 of Mini's 10 wins have been by one score, 8 points or less. First team in NFL history to start a year 9-0 in such games. Just absolutely fucking fabulous stat, that one. Detroit's number 1 in red zone efficiency, scoring a touchdown 73.9% of the time. Last 4 meetings have been decided by 4 points or less. TJ Hawkinson returns to Detroit. Oh yes, the November trade. Hawkinson to Detroit. Love this total to go over 50. That's what I'll be playing in this game. Total over 50 will be my number 1 play. Mini can clinch a playoff berth and NFC North with a win. Lions are 19-10 against spread under Dan Campbell. Vikings only notched 1 TD on 6 red zone trips versus the Jets last week. I think this game's a field goal game. I might I don't know. I'll be taking the over. I'll watch for in-game plays on this. Definitely prop bets on this one. I'll be touching Swift. Ross St. Brown. I'll be touching Justin Jefferson in this one. I'll be touching a lot of the offensive props in this one. And probably not the props. What I like doing is going on the props and then seeing what their props are and say it's like a 58 or a 64 is his prop for receiving yards. I'll go under the milestones and I'll drop that down to 50, take a bit on the hit of the price, but that's how I create my same game parlays a lot of the time. Going a bit below or shading a little below, almost buying myself a little bit of points or a little bit of leeway, however you want to look at it, and putting my same game parlays together. That's probably what I'll be doing in this one, as I like a lot of offensive players in both these teams in this one. Kansas City -9 in Denver to face the Broncos +9. Over under 44 on this one. Chiefs have won 13 straight versus the Broncos. KC's 7-1 against spread in Denver and 10-3 against spread their last 13 between. Let me try that again. And 10-3 against spread their last 13 meetings with Denver. Road teams 12-5 against spread. Chiefs are 7-0 straight up in Denver. Obviously, if they won 13 straight. KC are 5-1 straight up their last 6 overall. Chiefs are 8-0 straight up versus the AFC West. Denver's 5-11 against spread their last 16 overall. Broncos are 1-8 straight up their last 9 overall. Denver's 0-7 straight up versus the AFC West. Broncos lead the NFL in red zone defense and are a top 3 unit in scoring D, total D, pass D. Last time Denver beat KC was 2015, though. Denver averages 13.8 points per game, league low. Kelsey needs 32 receiving yards for his 7th straight 1,000 receiving yard season. He's already got the record for the most 1,000-yard receiving seasons by a tight end. He's just going to extend that streak another year with 37 this weekend, or 32 this weekend for sure. Chiefs clinched division with a win and a Chargers loss, which I think will happen. Running back Isaiah Pacheco, hope I'm pronouncing that properly. If not, I apologize. Has at least 15 touches in 4 games in a row and is averaged 5.1 yards per touch during that streak. Definitely a prop I'll be looking into. Prop bets in this one galore. I like Kansas City to win. I like Kansas City to win by 10, 12 points. So I like them to win and cover the spread. 24-10, 27-14, some shit like that anyways. Oh, I need my Appletons. This water isn't cutting it right now. Carolina +4 in Seattle to face the Seahawks. 4-point home favorites. 44.5 is the over-under. Over 6-0 last 6 meetings in Seattle and their last 6 meetings overall. Panthers are 1-4 against spread in Seattle. The Hawks are 8-2 straight up versus the Panthers. Carolina's 5-1 against spread their last 6 overall. Panthers are 4-15 straight up their last 19 overall. Carolina's 0-9 straight up on the road. Hawks are 5-2 straight up their last 7 overall. Seattle are 4-2 against spread at home. Seahawks are 1-4 straight up versus the NFC South. Seattle's offense leads the league in completion percentage, 72.5%. A ton of short, high percentage throws is how they do it. Geno Smith, you got to do what the defense gives you, and if that's what they're giving you and that's what's successful for you, Tom Brady's done it his whole life. Joe Montana did it for the most part. Like, you name the quarterbacks, a lot of them do it. That's how the great ones succeed. They take what the defense gives them, and a lot of the time that's the short check-down throws. They go through their progressions properly and quickly to be able to process that and get those open men when they are open, though, before they become covered and it's too late as well. Seahawks D ranks second in takeaways with 21, and they lead the league in games with multiple takeaways 10 times. 10 games this year, they've had multiple takeaways. I like Seattle to win. This number scares me a bit, especially with Seattle Walker's health being a bit of an issue. His status is questionable for the game. I think he's going to play. I think he'll be fine, but I really haven't heard. So I do like Seattle to win this. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 3 points or if it was 7 points. Carolina, never know what to expect out of them. I think Seattle should be able to cover, like a lot of my stats I've got written down here. Seattle 28-20, 30-17, 28-17. So those are the scores I'm looking at for Seattle to win by. But you never know because of the health of the running back in Seattle. Although they still got Lockett and they still got DK out there at wideout, so they should be all right. Yeah, I am gonna put some money on Seattle to win and cover, but not a great. They'll get a little sprinkle. Tampa Bay, 3.5-point dogs in San Fran to play the Niners. Over under 37 in this one. Niners are down to their third string quarterback. Bucks are 1-8-1 against spread their last 10 overall. Total's gone under in 7 of the Bucks' last 8 games. Tampa is 6-14 straight up for San Fran. Total's gone under in 5 straight road games for Tampa Bay. Bucks are 2-9 straight up in San Francisco. Tampa's 1-5-1 against spread versus the NFC West. Bucks are 7-1 straight up in December. Niners are 4-1 against spread their last 5 overall and 5-0 straight up. San Fran are 9-1 straight up at home. Niners are weapons. Niners have a ton of weapons, but they have no fucking QB. Will Bucks D outscore both offenses is my question. That's what I'm curious about this weekend. Niners league best scoring D. They only allow 15.8 points per game. Trey Lance and Jimmy G are gone for the season. Mentioned that already. Brock Purdy, last pick in the draft. He will start. Now, he did win last week, but is it a real surprise? San Fran's D comes into the game. No preparation. Last pick in the draft. Nobody's even watched a lick of fucking film on the kid. Now that Tampa Bay's had a week to prepare. Tom Brady, what's his record? I wrote that down. Brady 7-0 straight up versus QBs making their first start. That is Purdy this year. Brady and Hurts have only tossed 3 interceptions this year. That's tied for the fewest in the NFL. We'll see what the Niners defense can do against Brady. Bucks have lost 3 straight road games. Brady has never lost 4 straight road games in his career. Bucks games have gone under the total 10 of 12 times this year. I definitely will be putting money on Tampa Bay to cover the spread, and I might sprinkle a little bit on them as the upset. I think they can win this game. I got Tampa Bay winning 15-14, 20-17, 15-12. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think that over-under is pretty close to where it's going to be. I have faith in Brady. I don't have faith in Purdy. Everybody can talk to me like last night or yesterday. I forget when the fuck I was listening to. I'm not going to mention any names or any shows or stations or anything. But I heard somebody talking about how San Fran's a legit Super Bowl team because of their defense and how many weapons they have on offense, et cetera, et cetera. Quarterback's kind of irrelevant because, like, Jimmy G is just a little bit more than a game manager. And then he flipped it around and said, Miami cannot be taken as a serious Super Bowl contender because they just lost to somebody who had Purdy as a fucking QB after he just talked them up for their defense and all their weapons and how they're a Super Bowl contender, and then hated on fucking Tua and the Dolphins because they lost to that same fucking QB he called irrelevant in his fucking speech about them being Super Bowl contenders 30 seconds earlier. I found it funny. I ain't gonna call that guy out because I've done fuck ups like that too, so maybe he was just had a brain fart or whatever, so I ain't gonna throw no hate or no shade or nothing his way. I found it rather fucking hilarious though how you could say that's why they're contenders and then this team isn't because they lost to him. I think the Bucs can pull this one off. I think San Fran, I respect them a lot. I do think they are contenders. I don't think they're better than Dallas. I don't think they're better than my Fly Eagles Fly, baby. But they are definitely contenders. I think they're somewhere a little above Minnesota. I definitely put them maybe third in the NFC if I think about it. I don't know. If they got Purdy, though, and Tampa makes the playoffs, I'd pick Tampa over them for sure. Anyways, next game, Miami Dolphins, 3-point road favorites in LA to face the Chargers. Over under 53.5 on this one. Careful, baby girl, that fence is plastic, it can break. Under is 7-1 last 8 meetings in LA. Under is 12-2 last 14 meetings. Dolphins are 10-4 against spread their last 14 versus the Chargers. You can come sit with me if you want, or you can sit with Cookie over there. Okay. Home team 7-3 against spread. Miami are 3-6 against spread their last 9 overall, and 5-1 straight up their last 6. Dolphins are 12-4 straight up versus the Chargers. Miami's 13-6-1 against spread versus the AFC West. Chargers are 2-4 straight up their last 6 overall. LA are 0-5 against spread versus the AFC East. Chargers are 0-5 straight up as a dog. LA allows a league worst 5.4 yards per carry. Chargers run D ranks 28th. All 6 of the Chargers' wins have been against teams with losing records. Chargers have allowed over 150 rush yards or more rush yards in each of their last 6 games. How bad did Tua tweak his ankle late in the loss to San Fran last week? That's the question. That's the concern for me. I don't know. I think Miami is the better team. Chargers up and down. They always come on late, but seem to just fall short. You got a couple of these QBs were drafted, one pick apart or the same draft? Same draft Hurts was, I believe. Oh, anyways, he was a second rounder, so it doesn't matter. But these two have a lot to play for. These two teams have a lot to play for. I think Miami wins this game. I think that the 3 is a pretty good number. It wouldn't surprise me if this game ended as a push. So I'm probably just going to stay away from this game altogether unless I parlay the Dolphins with maybe the Eagles or somebody, one of the other games I mentioned I like. I'll have to see how the payouts match up before I decide. But I do like Miami in this game to win on the money line. New England, 1.5 point favorites in Arizona to face the Cardinals. Over under 43.5 on this one. Pats are 4-1 against spread versus the Cards. Unders 4-1 the last 5 meetings. New England 7-1 straight up and against spread versus the Chargers. Patriots are 6-3 against spread their last 9 overall. New England are 3-6 straight up on the road. Arizona are 1-4 straight up their last 5 overall. Cards are 1-11 straight up their last 12 home games. Arizona are 1-4 against spread and at home versus New England. Cards are 3-7 straight up versus the AFC West. Can you pass me my bottle, my drink, up over beside the phone charger, the first one? Cards are 3-7 straight up versus AFC East. Arizona, yep. Arizona have 53 penalties called against them and 40 offensive. Have 53 penalties called against them on their offense, and 44 have been accepted. Not the stat you want to lead the league in, that's for sure. Thank you, Princess. Patriots are tied with Denver for the worst red zone offense in the NFL this year. Cards own the 31st ranked scoring defense. I think New England can go on the road and get this one and keep every team in the AFC East above 500 or at 500. 21-20 New England, something like that is my prediction in this one. And we get to the game. I always leave till the end because, I want to save the best till last. We put the shit before the shovel, whichever fucking phrase you want to use. So the Eagles, last game I'm going to talk about. Philly, 7-point road favorites in New York to face the Giants. Over under 45 in this one. Eagles are 9-2 straight up versus the Giants. Over is 8-2 the last 10 meetings in New York. Underdogs 5-2 against the spread. Philly are 2-5 against spread their last 7 versus the G-Man. Giants are 7-3 against spread versus the Eagles. Giants are 7-2 against spread their last 9 games overall. New York are 4-1 against spread at home. Giants are 0-5-1 straight up versus the NFC East. New York's 0-7-1 straight up their last 8 in December. Eagles have won 5 in a row on the road. Philly are plus 13 turnover ratio, number 1 in the league. First in takeaways with 23. Second in turnovers with 9, only 9. Hurts 20 TDs and 3 interceptions. I already mentioned him and Brady have the fewest interceptions in the league among qualified quarterbacks, 3 apiece this year. Giants and Cowboys are tied for the league lead with 11 fumble recoveries. So it's all these NFC East teams leading the league, it seems to me. Hurts and Brady are tied for I just mentioned that. Giants are 2-4-1 straight up versus teams with winning records. New York's run D ranks 26, allowing 140 rushing yards per game. I think that the Eagles are going to try ground and pound. I wonder if they could go 350 on the ground, 350 passing, 350 on the ground again against the Giants. Wouldn't that be fucking something? Has that ever fucking happened? They're the first team since, the 50s or 60s to put up, or no, say it was 1980 something, sorry. And put up 350 rushing and then 350 plus passing in the next game. Unbelievable how they've been playing this year. Barkley, he's been held to 63 or less rushing yards in 3 straight games. He's dealing with an injury. If Barkley doesn't suit up for the Giants, they're already missing so many men on defense. Xavier McKinney, I believe, is out. They are beat up. I think the Eagles go in there and roll. I think the touchdown might actually be the right number. I think this game might actually fall on the Eagles winning by 7. What did I rate? I wrote down a lot bigger number than that. I wrote down 28-13 Eagles. If Barkley plays, I could see this being like a 27-20 type game, 24-17 type game. If Barkley doesn't play, I think the Eagles are going to just roll through the Giants like they did Tennessee last week. I don't think the Giants are as good as Tennessee, and I think Barkley is a big deal. The thing the Eagles have to be careful about, though, is Daniel Jones. He always seems to break through with some fucking rushes, and I do not want to see you break your assignments defensively with Daniel Jones, because I don't want that to be the reason why this game is fucking close, because he got lots of fucking yards with his legs. I know he's going to get some. But he can't go crazy with his rushing yards. Although he might fumble it when he gets close to the end zone anyway, so who knows. Eagles win this game. I like Eagles I'm going to pick them to cover, even though I think I'm going to get a push out of this game. Good luck to you guys in all your picks. Cheers.